Greetings everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. You know the drill. We are going to cover assassin career mechanics. If I reference mechanics you're unfamiliar with, there's a link in the description to my new player guide. Assassins are completely focused on high damage against single targets. Essentially, they are boss killers. The characteristics associated with assassin are agility, ballistic skill, intelligence, perception, weapon skill, awareness, lore Imperium, and lore Xenos. You can only select assassin as a class if you have completely mastered fighter or adept. You automatically get the Keystone Ability Seek for the Open, which allows you to create one opening on a target. If you hit an opening, you'll deal additional damage equal to 10% of that enemy's total wounds. In some cases, especially against bosses, this is a massive amount of damage. Assassin also gets a special characteristic called lethality. Lethality is equal to your dodge or dodge penetration, whichever amount is greater. Assassin also gets a list of unique abilities. Death Whisper allows you to make an attack within a 1 cell radius that does 25% of the base damage, but doesn't contribute to your 1 attack per turn limit and doesn't stop your movement. The enemy also suffers a hemorrhage, which will deal rending damage at the beginning of every turn in an amount equal to your lethality bonus. Rending damage ignores armor and deflection, so this is fantastic against well-protected foes. Even without that, it's great to have an additional attack, so definitely pick this up. Elusive Shadow makes you the lowest priority for enemy attacks, lets you move through enemies, provides a 20% boost to damage, makes half covers give you 60% cover efficiency, you gain a percentage bonus to dodge equal to twice your agility bonus, and you gain a percentage bonus to armor penetration equal to twice your perception bonus. All of this fades once you attack, but you can reapply it every turn for 1 action point. Absolutely another must-have ability. Macabre Dance allows you to dash in a straight line for a number of cells equal to 1 plus half your agility bonus. While moving through enemies, the damage you take from attacks of opportunity is reduced by your weapon skill bonus. Each time you dash through an enemy, you gain a percentage bonus to dodge against that enemy equal to 3 times your agility bonus until your next turn. If you don't dash through any enemies, then you receive a percentage bonus to cover efficiency equal to 3 times your perception bonus until you move. After using this for the first time, you can use it again for free. If movement is a problem for your assassin, then maybe this is worth it, but personally my assassin just deals with the enemies that are in front of them. Killing Edge gives an enemy you attack a 40% increase to dodge. If you are still able to hit, then you'll deal additional damage equal to your lethality bonus. If you hit an opening, then you also get a percentage bonus to damage equal to your lethality. A 40% increase to dodge is massive, especially considering a ton of enemies love to dodge your attacks. I skipped this. Position and Strike causes one enemy to suffer a penalty to armor equal to 3 times your agility bonus, and a penalty to deflection equal to -1 minus your perception bonus until the end of your turn. If there's only one enemy adjacent to you, then you'll gain a percentage bonus to dodge equal to 3 times your agility bonus until your next turn. If there are no enemies adjacent to you, you'll gain a percentage bonus to dodge penetration equal to 3 times your perception bonus until your next turn. This is a great way to tear down a tough enemy's defenses while beefing up your own. Lethal Breeze penalizes the armor penetration of your next single target attack by -50% and gives it +10 lethality. If the attack is melee, it will rotate your target 180 degrees and the enemy's dodge and parry plummets to 0 against your attacks until the start of the enemy's next turn. If the attack is ranged, its target is forced to move into the closest cell within a 3-cell range with no adjacent covers against the assassin. This movement provokes attacks of opportunity. This ability is super weird to me, and taking a -50% hit to armor penetration just seems like a real no-no. I skipped this. Quick note before we review the assassin talents. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate you hitting the like button. This information lets me know which videos the community is enjoying. If you want to support this kind of content, please consider becoming a member of the channel, where you will get access to full playthrough episodes. Assassin gets a unique list of talents, and you can select 7 of them in the game. Ambush gives you a bonus of 15% to hit chance and critical hit chance against enemies when you are not in their line of sight at the beginning of their turn. In my opinion, this isn't as good as it sounds because most fights start with all the enemies facing you, and if you are a frontline fighter, which I think Assassin caters to, you will rarely be outside an enemy's line of sight. That being said, it will trigger every so often, so it's not the worst pickup. Carmine Whisper causes the hemorrhage effect from Death Whisper to do an additional 3 damage. I don't think an extra 3 damage is worth the talent, so I would skip this. Create the Opening causes enemies who have been struck by a critical hit from an ally to spawn a new opening on the closest side towards the assassin. If you have multiple party members who regularly critical hit, this is a great pickup and I got a lot of use out of it. Deadly Calculation causes 1 point of direct damage every time you deal 10 damage to an enemy. Direct damage bypasses an enemy's characteristics or bonuses. This isn't a game where you rack up massive damage numbers, so the most this will consistently do is 4 or 5 points, so I skip it. Flawless Lunge adds a percentage penalty to dodge on top of what Position to Strike already does, equal to 3 times your agility bonus. If you use Position to Strike regularly, this is definitely an option to consider. Imminent Perish is triggered when you deal direct damage to an enemy and places a stack of Vulnerable, which gives you a percentage increase to damage inflicted on that opponent. The percentage equals the amount of vulnerable stacks that the enemy has, plus your perception bonus. If you consistently deal direct damage, then this is a no-brainer. Personally, I focus more on openings, and consequently, I skip most of the direct damage talents and skip this as well. Inevitable Despond causes each use of aim for the opening to reduce an enemy's dodge and dodge reduction by 10%. I was using that ability every turn, so this was a no-brainer. Killing Spree causes each opening hit by you to increase your damage by a percentage equal to your agility bonus until the end of combat. Once again, an absolute no-brainer that will really help you. Leave No Witness makes the last enemy you hit a witness, and if you end your turn out of their line of sight, they will take additional damage. The amount of damage is equal to your lethality score divided by 3% of your current weapon's max base damage. This is usually going to be around 4 or 5 additional points. Not all that great, and it's harder for melee characters to trigger, so I skipped it. Lethal Concentration is triggered when you attack an enemy and provides a bonus to lethality equal to your dodge reduction minus the opponent's dodge divided by 2. Whether or not this is useful depends on what kind of enemy you are facing, so personally I skipped it. Lethality Thickens occurs when you deal 5 or more direct damage and provides a +5 bonus to lethality. This is a great way to make Death Whisper even more brutal, so if you are comfortable with some of the direct damage talents, definitely pick it up. Lone Killer gives you a 10% increase to dodge and dodge reduction as long as there are no allies within a 5-cell range. I actually like putting my assassin on an island by himself, so this is a great pickup. Mortally Effective causes your first attack with lethality dealing over 100 damage to refund the action point spent. I skipped this because increasing lethality wasn't the focus of my build, and I am not sure how difficult it is to push it up over 100. Seize the Advantage gives you +15 bonus to lethality if you attack an enemy who is slowed, immobilized, or has a hemorrhage, but your lethality cannot exceed 45. I rarely slowed or immobilized enemies, so I skipped this. Shake a Leg causes Elusive to also grant a +10 bonus to movement points and a +10 bonus to lethality. I use this every turn, so no reason not to take its upgrade. Urge for the Unscathed provides a 20% bonus to dodge and dodge reduction until the end of your next turn against enemies you attack who have full wounds. The vast majority of enemies you attack will trigger this, so absolutely pick it up. Vicious Game is triggered when you hit an enemy without hitting their opening. You'll receive a percentage bonus to dodge equal to twice your agility bonus. If you are playing an assassin build that emphasizes lethality or direct damage instead of the openings, then this is something to consider. I focused on openings, so I skipped this. At level 4, you will get your Heroic Act in Desperate Measure. Your Heroic Act is called Dispatch, and its attack cannot miss. It will deal an additional 50% damage and deal 25% other targets missing wounds as damage. The dodge, dodge reduction, armor penetration, and parry penetration are all doubled for this attack. Against a boss with huge wound pools who has been heavily damaged, this is a fantastic finisher. In most other situations, it's going to pale in comparison to your Fighter Heroic Act and frankly sometimes to your Adept option as well. That is, until you get the upgrades. Assassin will provide you with 2 opportunities to upgrade your Heroic Act, and you will choose from a list of 4 options. The first upgrade causes the target to lose half of its armor and its deflection. Needless to say, this is a massive debuff that in my mind makes this a better option than what Adept can do, even though a 30% debuff to dodge is really nice. The next option causes your attack to deal 45% of the opponent's missing wounds as damage. This is overkill against most characters, but if you are setting your assassin up to be a boss killer, definitely pick this up. The third upgrade gives you temporary wounds every time you hit an opening equal to your lethality divided by 15. In most situations, there's a ton of Travs mobs hanging around, so this basically makes your assassin invincible. If you are playing on harder difficulties and worried about his safety, then pick it up, but I skip it. The final upgrade is triggered if you kill an enemy with Dispatch and places 2 stacks of the Disturbed debuff on all enemies within 3 cells, along with forcing them to pass an agility check or they will become staggered for 1 round. Staggered enemies have a negative 20 penalty to weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength, toughness, and agility checks. Disturbed enemies have a negative 10 penalty to willpower and fellowship that lasts until the end of combat. This is a nice debuff, but overall I still prefer the first 2 options. At level 20, your character will receive 1 additional action point. That completes my walkthrough of Assassin's mechanics. Please let me know down in the comments if there's any other content for this game you are looking for. Hope all of you enjoyed this video. Take care!